does anybody need a lesson sheet? We're not showing a video, but here you go. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I have a problem this morning.
Oh,
I got a migraine and I can't see.
well.
Yeah, it's all kind of, there's just spots all over the place.
Oh, it's
So I'm gonna have fun, because
You want these?
that won't help.
No, no.
I'm supposed to be leading the class, I'm supposed to be leading singing, I'm supposed to be preaching, so we'll see how it goes.
All by memory.
What's that?
All by memory.
I don't have that
That's
good
why you
memory.
have a migraine.
What's that?
That's why you have it. You have too much to do and stress.
No, I think the
No.
pressures outside are so bad right now.
Yeah,
Well,
that too.
yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Light-
Bright lights set it
Yep,
off.
bright lights say it all, yeah.
So I don't know. Well, actually, our lesson is actually out of Matthew 24 and 25. And it's dealing with the destruction of Jerusalem and the second coming of Christ. So, see if I can figure out what's on this sheet. From Matthew chapter 24, 1 through 3, what was the reason Jesus chose to teach about his return? What did the Jews think was going to happen?
Weren't they still looking for the Messiah?
They were still looking for the Messiah, and they thought when the Messiah came that he would restore the physical kingdom of Israel, and that the king of Israel would rule upon the earth, okay? And so they thought that the second coming of Christ and the destruction of Jerusalem would happen at the same time.
That's right, yeah.
So Jesus needed to clarify this for them so that they understood what was really going on. Let me see here. So I basically covered, I think, what that meant. Okay, so what two questions did they ask Jesus?
Well, they were interested in, they thought it was going to happen in their time, so it was when it was going to happen.
Okay, when's it
And
going to
then
happen?
He said, they asked, what
Actually,
sign?
when two things are going to happen. When is the destruction of Jerusalem going to happen, and when is Jesus returning? I mean, yeah,
And they were looking for signs.
yeah, they were looking for a sign. Yeah, what's the sign?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it right there. Okay, when's the destruction going to happen, and when is the sign that this is going to occur? Okay, so question number 3: summarize the three views taught in Matthew 24 regarding the temple and the return of the Lord.
I keep talking, but I think he was looking at.
There were
he
three.
said it
There
was
was the panoramic view. What's the
Right.
panoramic view?
just a large
Yes.
view, an overall view.
Okay, it's an overall view of the destruction of Jerusalem, the things that's going to happen, and the second coming. And this is very important in understanding, because Matthew 24 can be very confusing, because you're reading there and it says, one person he'll be working in the field, one will be taken, and one will be left. Now that's not the picture of Jesus' second coming. But then he goes on in the same, and he talks about the coming of second coming. And so it's confusing unless you understand the panoramic view. At first he's giving an overall picture of the destruction and the coming. And so then he goes on after that, and he talks about the telescopic view of the destruction of Jerusalem. And in that's where he talks about, if you're out in the field, or if you're giving birth, or whatever it is, get out of the city of Jerusalem. Well, when Jesus comes, there's no getting out anywhere that's going to save you. When Jesus returns, everybody will face Jesus.
I think, when we look at the first one, he's looking at the whole view of everything that's going on, like there's a war. That's the way I see it. There's a war, and you see the whole war going on. But in the second part, it's individuals, families. This is what you need to do. Because here's the war, here's what you have to do.
But it's dealing with the destruction of Jerusalem, not the second coming.
Right. No, but I'm just saying, he's saying you don't want to be around when this happens. And if you're out in the field, don't come back.
Right.
But
No.
one view is a war, the other one is individuals. Or am I wrong there?
Okay. I kind of see what you're saying, but we've got to remember this is, one is talking about the destruction of Jerusalem, the other is talking about the coming of Jesus. And so, in the destruction of, in the telescopic view, he's talking about what you're saying, the individuals.
Yeah.
He's talking about, wherever you are, if you see these particular signs, then get out of Jerusalem, because Jerusalem is going to be destroyed.
Oh,
You don't want to be in the city of Jerusalem when this happens, because you won't be spared either. Because the Jews, when the Romans got so upset with the Jews, they decided just to wipe out the city. And millions of Jews were killed at that time because people didn't see the sign and they didn't get out of the city. And so, some of them fled the city and they went up on Masada.
Yeah, that didn't work out.
And that didn't work out either, because it worked out for a time until the Jews, I don't know why I keep saying the Jews, until the Romans built a ramp up.
And they couldn't leave, and they saw the ramp being built. But,
Well, they had these catapults who were throwing things over the wall
yeah,
to try to kill the Romans, and they
Right.
probably killed some of them, but it didn't stop them from building this ramp.
yeah.
And so, actually what happened is when they broke through the wall, when the Romans did, and entered the city, all the Jews committed suicide.
Yeah.
They took their own lives, or one another's lives. We don't know exactly what happened, but when they got up there, was the Romans didn't kill them. They had already taken their own lives. Okay, so did you have something to say?
no.
Okay, so the third view is the telescopic view of the return of Jesus, the second coming. And so, this is very important, I think, to understand this, because, I'd read this many times, and it's just hard to put it together. Okay, now, that doesn't make sense that he's talking, these things, but he's talking about the second coming, but that very first part was really the confusing part, because it had both of them, signs of the destruction of Jerusalem, but also he was given a picture of his return. So then you get down to the verses. It says, summarize the key element of the period of the period until the second coming, verses 4 through 15. In verse 4, you got your Bibles opened up to Matthew 24.
False prophets, are they talking about?
What's that?
False prophets in the beginning there, that no one misleads
Yeah,
you.
okay.
They'll come in my name saying I am the
Right.
Christ, but they're not.
Right, okay. Recall that this is, that Paul is writing to the Christians in Thessalonica, talking about the same thing.
Oh.
The false teachers in Thessalonica had come in, saying that the second coming already happened, or, you know, that this had already occurred. Verses 5 through 8. The cycle of the false teachers and what troubles will continue, even worsening until the Lord returns. There's a inherent contrast between the strife and the stress of the world and the peace offered in Jesus. Okay, so, and remember that this is part of the panoramic view that we're giving here. Verses 9 through 12. What do you see there? These verses parallel 1st and 2nd Thessalonians.
Oh.
See, now this is all still in the panoramic view, but it's giving a picture of the second coming, of when Jesus returns. And 13, verse 13, the Lord promises that the faithful will be saved regardless of the trials and the evil that's taking place of the day. Okay? Now, verse 14, Jesus promises the Great Commission, teaching the lost, will be carried out before the end comes. Now, this is interesting, because like in Mark chapter 9, I think it's verse 1, he says that many of you who are here today will still be alive when this occurs. So he's talking about what?
I always thought it
destruction
was
of
when he
Jerusalem.
rose from the dead. They'll
What's
be
that?
alive when the kingdom came, when he rose from the dead. That's what I always thought.
No, it's talking about the destruction of Jerusalem.
Okay, I
He's
won't
saying,
argue.
he's saying the kingdom of God will come before they die. That's what he's talking about in Mark 9. The kingdom will come before some of those who are alive there. So he's saying, basically that occurred in AD 33. When Jesus was crucified, the church was established, okay?
Right.
That's what that's talking about. So, I got some stuff mixed up here. No, maybe that's good, okay. So, what are the results Jesus describes regarding the destruction of Jerusalem? This is verses 15 through 35. Okay, so you have the panoramic view, now a telescopic view of the destruction of Jerusalem. Now he describes the second coming of Jesus. So what are the results that Jesus describes regarding the destruction of Jerusalem?
Temples destroyed, the cities destroyed.
Oh, I stated wrong here. This is the telescopic view of the return, not return, but the destruction of Jerusalem. Yeah,
To flee?
yeah.
To flee and not turn back?
Yeah, flee and do
Yeah.
not turn back. Get out of there when you see certain things happening, and that's talking about the destruction of Jerusalem. Because what do we know about the second coming of Jesus?
Watch and be ready.
That's all we know.
Yep.
It's like a thief in the
There will
night.
be no sign that it's going to happen.
Right.
There's no indication of okay, now get ready because it's here, getting close. No, and why this is important. So many people are teaching today that there are signs that there's going to be a tribulation, and then there's going to be a rapture where some people are caught up, and so it's important that we understand Matthew 24.
Yes.
And the reason he went back to Matthew 24 is because there's more description of what's actually going to take place. And both in of course, the destruction of Jerusalem, but also the second coming. He gives more details about the second coming.
Well, it also says the man of lawlessness will be revealed, but we don't know if that'll be like an instant Jesus comes the second he's revealed to everybody, or if we're gonna know that it's a man of lawlessness for a while and then figure, oh, the second coming's on the way. But then again, prophecy, you never know how long of a time it takes before the actual next
Yeah.
step comes. You know, so we will never know when he's coming. That's a fact.
Okay, yeah. Thankfully, my eyesight's coming back. My headache's coming on, but the eyesight's
The
coming
vision's
back,
getting
so,
better.
so that's good. I can read now a little bit. Okay, so summarize Jesus' teaching on his return, verses 36 through 44.
Well, one of the things if I remember right, one of the things he says is that it'll be unmistakable, that everybody will see it and they'll know what's going on. I mean, that it is he and he's returning.
Okay.
There won't be any confusion.
Yeah. It will be. The thing about when the second coming comes, actually this leads into the three parables in 24 and 25. But and the three parables are basically telling us to get ready. Okay, but in verses 36 through 40, so Jesus shifts his teaching from the destruction of Jerusalem to the second coming. And he clearly states that God the Father, the Creator, only knows, he's the only one that knows when this is going to happen. Not even Jesus himself. He says, I don't even know it. Only the Father knows it, when this is going to occur. So, don't be looking for some kind of sign so that you can get ready. Remember what King Agrippa said? When Paul was teaching.
Almost, thou hast persuaded me to be a Christian.
Yeah,
Almost.
yeah.
Well, almost isn't going to be.
It's not going to be enough, is it?
No.
And and Paul replied to him, my desire is not only you, but everybody will be like me except for these chains. He wishes that everyone would become a Christian, is Paul's desire. Okay, so he says that no one knows when this is going to occur. There would be no sign that indicates the return is imminent. In fact, all will seem normal.
Kind of relates that to the days of Noah when he was building the ark, and then when he was ready, when it was done, people were just going on their merry way,
And
and then
when that door was closed on the
Yeah,
ark,
yeah.
it was too late.
yeah.
And when Jesus returns, it's too late to change.
Yeah.
You don't have a second chance, and that's what these people teach the rapture. That's a big mistake they make. There'll be some that you're going to have a second chance to get ready. No. When Jesus returns, it's Judgment Day. This chapter prepares the way of Jesus, for Jesus, teachings on the importance of being prepared for the destruction, but also for the second coming, for Jesus coming back. So he now, beginning in verse 25 of chapter 24 through 25:30, he gives three parables. What are the parables?
The talents.
Well, that'll be one of them, but that's not the first one.
No,
Of the
10 virgins.
That's
How
not the
about the
first one
evil
either.
slave?
Yeah, the evil slave. 45 through 51.
Yeah.
Oh. Chapter 54.
Yeah, yeah, 40. What's that parable about?
Gotta look it up.
Almost like, he looks like he's saying to the slave that, the master's not coming for a long time.
Yeah,
So he begins to beat his slaves and,
Yeah.
you know, just the eating and the drinking and, yeah,
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 yeah.
And the
Kinda
master
pulls him
returns
away.
early.
yeah.
Yep.
Now, okay, he's not coming from, Master's not coming back, you know, for a long time, so
Right.
I'll just do what I want to do.
Yes.
Mhm, mhm.
And the Master returns and surprises him.
Yep.
And he has to deal with with the judgment, with the consequences of his actions. He has to face the master, and the master says, "You're evil." And then,
Well, he was also in that parable encouraging, it is encouraging to all the disciples to be the good slave and the faithful slave, and the
Yeah.
reward that you'll have.
yeah,
Yeah.
get ready, yeah.
Yeah.
He's saying, you know, be the good slave who does things and gets, you know, is ready when the master returns. You know, you do the things the master has left you to do. You fulfill those things. So 25, 1 through 13. This is the parable of what?
Is it the lamps?
These are the 10 virgins.
And have enough oil for the lamps?
Yeah.
The 10 virgins.
Yeah.
Tell the story. Okay, there's a wedding feast coming, right? There's a wedding coming. But they don't know when it's going to be exactly. They know approximately when it's going to be, but they don't know when it's going to be. I mean, they know it's imminent.
And some of the virgins they took the oil that was in the lamp, and the other 5 of them did that, and the other 5 took extra besides what was in the lamp.
Okay, so they brought along an extra supply.
So
Yeah.
they were prepared.
And it, when the lamps ran out of oil, they said, well, share your oil with us. No, we don't have enough to share. You go and get your own. So they go to get some more, and the master returns.
Yeah.
Or the wedding party, the groom comes.
And they wouldn't be allowed back in.
Pardon?
I think the other people, the ones that went, wasn't it the ones that tried to get the more oil, they couldn't get in?
Right,
Yeah,
right. The
Yeah.
wedding started, and they closed the doors.
yeah.
You can't get in. So what is this parable about? What did he call it? A parable of what?
Parable of 10 virgins, is that what you're getting at?
What was that?
The parable of 10 virgins, is that the parable
Be
you're talking
prepared.
about?
Yeah, yeah.
Be prepared.
Well, it's to be prepared, but it's being negligent.
Oh.
They knew the wedding was going to happen,
Yeah,
but they didn't prepare.
yeah.
They were
They
negligent.
chose not to prepare.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's what
They were
they're-
negligent.
Yeah.
So they missed out.
It wasn't that they were
Because,
intentionally disobedient, they just didn't follow through with
yeah,
being ready.
Well, they, like almost anybody else, you could figure, well, I'm going to a wedding, it's gonna start sooner than later, because it's a big deal, everybody wants to celebrate, and they just were negligent, they didn't think ahead that maybe it will take longer than what we figured,
Yeah.
and we gotta stay focused on that as well.
And it ended, and they were,
Yeah, you know, I've done quite a few weddings over the years, and it's amazing, most of them never start on time.
Yeah.
Mine didn't.
Somebody's not ready, and we have to wait, and we have to wait.
Mhm.
I had one where I think it's the bride, never showed up.
Oh. Oh.
That was
that hurt.
That was quite a shock. Finally, we announced there'd be no wedding.
Mhm.
That was weird,
Yeah.
but only one of those happened. But a lot of them were where they always started late.
Mhm.
So maybe these ladies or maybe these people thought, well, the wedding is going to be. We know it's coming, but it's a long way home. You know,
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
they just don't get do things timely. So. I don't know. Somebody thought, well, that it's going to start real on time, and it didn't. And they were.
Well, the lesson being too, I think, not just one person was negligent, but half were. So it kind of impacts the story.
Yeah.
One, you know, they agreed to ignore. It
Well,
was more than one person.
The shout came at midnight, and for all we know, the weddings usually started at like 6 in the afternoon, for all we know. I don't know. They
Yeah.
just fell asleep as 10 o'clock, 11, whatever.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know, because they did fall asleep there too.
Yeah. It was.
They totally lost sight of
Yeah.
the wedding.
They did. Yeah. Okay, so now we have verses 14 through 30, Matthew 25, the parable of the talents. Okay, what is the parable of the talents?
The 5, 2, and 1. One servant had 5, other servant had 2, and the other servant had 1.
Okay.
And,
A talent was what?
oh my,
Money.
there's so many different definitions, isn't there?
A talent was money, but the interpretation is that it's the abilities that God has given us.
Yeah,
Oh,
I agree with that.
yeah.
Always have.
You know, we don't all have the same ability to do the same thing. I mean, some are, you know, you look at some people, they're just so gifted, you know, and you're kind of jealous of them, you know. You know, I have to really struggle to get things done, and it just so easy for them. But so the parable of talent is saying God has given us abilities, and He expects us to use the abilities that He's given to us.
Mhm.
And you know, 2 of them, you know, one with 5 talents, he doubled his, right? One with the 3 talents,
2 talents.
or 2 talents, right? What did he do?
Doubled his.
He doubled his also. What about the 1 talent?
He hid the one he
he
got.
did it.
And what did the master say?
You wicked and lazy slave.
Well, that too.
He could have put it in the bank and collected the
Yeah,
interest.
at least you could have put it in the bank and collected some interest on it.
Yeah.
And you didn't even do that. And that's not just negligence. That's outright rejecting God, really. And it's what is our purpose for being here?
So you can save the lost.
Yeah. Spread the kingdom. And some of us have more abilities in that area than others. But whatever our ability in that is, God expects us to do it. You know, He didn't put us here just to have fun. He expects us to spread the gospel, to share the gospel, and so what they don't do is they don't spread the kingdom. They didn't spread the kingdom the way God intended for them to do it. Now, why should faithful Christians not fear the return of the Lord?
Like the person with the talents, if you're using it what God gives you, you can feel comfortable. But if you like the person with the one that just buries it, that's probably an uncomfortable feeling. If God gave you some talent, then you're not using it.
Okay, yeah,
And that talent, to bring people to Christ.
yeah. What does God, well, in the parable, what did he, so I think, Mark, you said it. What did he say to the one who had 5 talents?
Well done.
Well done, good and faithful servant.
Yeah.
You've been faithful in a little, in what? I think
You were
it says something.
faithful in a few things,
A
I
few
put you in
things.
charge of many things, enter the joy of your master.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, really, when Jesus returns, He will confirm our faithfulness.
Right.
You've been faithful. Welcome into the kingdom. Welcome into heaven. You get to spend eternity with me. But the unfaithful, as Bob says, what happens to them?
They'll be lost.
Well, it says right in the end, throw out the worthless slave into the outer darkness. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing
Weeping
of
and
teeth. Weeping and gnashing of teeth. Yeah.
well, that's a scary picture, isn't it? Can you imagine people gnashing their teeth at one another? That's a terrible time. Debbie and I were just talking, I think it's yesterday. There's some pretty gory things that happen in the Bible.
Yes.
I mean, it's not G-rated, is it?
No.
People killing people and all kinds of things like that. It's just, But the thing about it is, that makes it, if God didn't show the bad, only show the good, it'd be unrealistic to us. It wouldn't make us want to follow Him at all, I don't think. So He gives a picture of some bad things. And He does that. Sometimes we have to be scared. Isn't that right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are you scared to go to hell?
Mm-hmm.
That's a fearful thing.
Yeah.
There's this old preacher that is I forget what his name is now. A fearful thing it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of an angry God.
Sounds like Charles Spurgeon to me.
And it's not Spurgeon.
Not Spurgeon.
It was, what was his name? I had it right before I started saying it, and then I forgot it.
Oh.
But this sermon was a powerful sermon. It scared a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he's talking about what's going to happen, if you're not ready and Jesus returns.
It also says God is storing up wrath for that day as well. I have no clue how much wrath that is, but it's going to be a lot.
And the thing about it is, that's so many people are thinking, well, God hasn't shot me down yet, so I'll just continue doing what I'm doing. God doesn't immediately punish me for my wrongdoing, so I'll just continue to do them.
Yeah, and God loves us. He won't send anybody to hell because he loves us,
Yeah. Yeah,
You're
there's
used to-
that thought.
You used to hear that a lot.
Yeah. Everybody, you hear this a lot, everybody's going to the same place.
Oh, when it comes to all the denominations and us being the Christian church, we all believe in God, we're all going to heaven. You hear that too.
Yeah. For the faithful, a day of glory beyond our ability to comprehend will happen. We really can't imagine what it's going to be like in heaven. We get some pictures, but we really don't know. But to the unfaithful and unprepared, the worst day of their existence will happen. And there's descriptions, and I don't know, are they just, is it actual, is it the burning with fire going to actually happen? I don't know, I assume it will, but just think about being away from the presence of God.
Yeah.
That's terrible. That's a terrible picture. So our Lord does not ask marvelous actions on our part. He asks us to be humble, faithful, and have love for others as we serve Him in this life. That's what He asks us to do. And that says we don't need to compare ourselves with others.
Right.
Because God has given each of us the talents that He's given us. And so we don't need to look at other people's talent and think that we need that talent.
No, but what's interesting, if you keep your eyes open from time to time, you see people growing up in the Lord, starting out with their one talent. Like, let's say they start helping with communion, then they're leading communion, or they decide, well, I'll go up there and I'll lead a song, and then they're leading songs. The talents start. You can see the talents
you
growing
can grow.
in people.
God expects us to grow.
Yeah.
Right? Matthew 22, verses 36 through 40. They asked Jesus, what is the greatest commandment?
To love thy neighbor as thyself,
To love the Lord thy God with all your heart, with all your mind,
with all your soul.
with all your soul. And to neighbor, the second is like it, to love your neighbor as yourself. Yeah. This passage illustrates humility, faithfulness, and love. Okay, so last 5 minutes, how can we use this lesson to grow spiritually and help others to come into a right relationship with God? We got to share the fact that not everybody's going to heaven. We got to share the gospel. We have to tell others about Jesus.
Be kind.
Okay, be kind, yeah.
Be kind about it. Don't get out a baseball bat and club them over the head. Boom! Don't you get it? Boom! No, you can't do that.
Right. Yeah, we have to, we have to meet people where they are and go from there. And that's not easy. Our Father loves us so much that He wants us to be prepared. So examine our walk. Because God expects us to use the talents that we have, that He's given us, to His glory, that His kingdom will grow. And you know, God doesn't want people to be lost.
Nope, takes no pleasure in it.
No. He wants all to come to knowledge of the truth and to be saved. Okay, that's our lesson for today. We got a few minutes left to get ready for the next hour, worship.
Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, sir.
Nice to see you sitting at